This is the most destructive thing that is literally robbing Americans every single year. It's the fact that we don't understand inflation. Unfortunately, in our American monetary system, they don't teach us about inflation. They teach us how to go to school, get a job, trade time for money. They never taught us that this money now that we receive, and they don't teach our kids now the money that we receive, that is someone else's debt, and that the whole system is leverage. You're either on the poverty side of it or you're on the wealth building side of it. Everybody uses leverage. For example, Dave Ramsey was asked if he was given $1 billion at 0% interest, would he borrow it? He said no. But how did he build his empire? All due respect, real estate. From what I understand, is where did he get the real estate from was loans. That's borrowing. See, the thing we need to understand is inflation and leverage and debt. If you don't understand that every single dollar in the system is somebody else's debt and that you're manipulated through interest rates and inflation, then you're going to get poorer every single year. So you work your ass off, you go to school, you spend $100,000 on an education to get a decent job. And that job that you get, if you don't beat 2% inflation every single year, you become poor. So imagine, the harder you work for that promotion is eroded by inflation. For example, from 2020 to 2024, Americans lost 19% of their purchasing power, and since 1913, since the Federal Reserve was created, which isn't federal nor reserve, was supposed to protect our job markets and money supply, has collapsed our dollar almost 99%. So now we're in this moment in time in humanity, history, in America, where the elites are shifting to deflationary assets that have fixed supply. I'll give you an example. They all told you to look this way with a thing called Bitcoin. The SEC sued a company called Ripple, one of the most disruptive technologies, which made XRP. And both of those have fixed supplies. Unlike the US dollar, that every single time they print it, they have a printing machine. And every single time they print it, your dollar becomes worth less. There's nothing backing it. Unlimited, infinity supply. But this new system's been created where there's a fixed supply. XRP has a deflationary component because it burns every single time a transaction runs across it. Bitcoin has 21 million in supply, no more can ever be printed, and 95% of the supply is gone. I wonder why the elites now own it, when they told you to run from it. The system has always been the same. They get us drunk in the Coliseum, they get us drunk off the wine, the Trojan horse comes in, it repeats itself over and over again, until someone in someone's timeline, someone's family finally wakes up, their soul wakes up to the opportunity and the understanding that money is just energy. It moves through the system from one person's hands to the other. There's no real tangibleness to it. It's just energy moving back and forth. So what they do is they print money, it hits the top of the house, it bleeds down to us, like the stimulus checks, and then we pump it back into the system and make the 1% rich once again. Just look who became the wealthiest from 2020 to 2022. It wasn't the middle class and the working class, it was the tech giants. So if you understand and stop looking at trying to get rich quick and start to really take a look at taking your hard-earned money and transmute it into assets that appreciate over time versus into things that deflate over time, and start borrowing against your future self, start investing in your future self. When you want a liability, you buy it with an asset, OPM, other people's money. That's how the elites work. So my system works like this. I work to create as much cash flow as I can. I worked really hard to build 6 companies, 3 of them are in cash flow. Every time I get cash flow, every single time I get cash flow on top of debts and non-negotiables, which I kept my bills lean and mean, I transmute it into more cash flow through dividend ETFs and deflationary assets like XRP and Bitcoin. So every single day I'm dollar cost averaging in to XRP and Bitcoin. Every single week I'm buying more cash flow through dividends. And then monthly, I have an ecosystem. You need an ecosystem. Monthly, I take the cash from the dividends, and what do? I put money aside for the taxes because it is taxable. And then I de-risk back into deflationary assets like Bitcoin and XRP. So every single day,